Color is often one of the most overwhelming parts of learning digital art. With so many choices, it's easy to feel unsure. In this tutorial, we'll simplify color using a monochromatic color scheme, following one drawing from start to finish. A monochromatic color scheme is built from one hue and its variations. These variations are created by changing how light, dark, bright, or muted the color is, rather than switching to different hues. This approach creates natural harmony and removes the complexity of color matching. The first decision in monochromatic drawing is choosing your hue. This choice affects the overall mood of the artwork. Warm hues can feel dramatic or energetic, while cool hues often feel calm or distant. Once the hue is chosen, it should remain consistent throughout the drawing. In Clip Studio Paint, establishing a base hue and all of its variations is made easier through several dedicated color tools. Using a color set allows you to assign and reuse colors without losing consistency. This is especially helpful when working on cel-shaded drawings or when laying down flat colors for different elements of an illustration. Instead of repeatedly picking new colors and risking small shifts, you can store your chosen shades and reuse them throughout the piece. To use this, simply select a color from the color wheel and click. Add color in the Color Set panel to save it to your palette. As you build your artwork, this palette acts as a stable reference, helping you stay within your monochromatic range. If you have a specific shade in mind but find it difficult to select precisely using the color wheel alone, you can switch to the color sliders. These sliders allow you to adjust hue, saturation, and value independently, giving you finer control when creating lighter, darker, or more muted variations of your chosen hue. Once the flat colors are established, we can move on to working with values. As always, value work depends on a clear understanding of light and shadow, where the light source is coming from, and how it affects the form. A common and convenient approach is to paint values on a separate layer, change its blending mode to multiply, lock the transparent pixels, and then fill or paint over the layer using a chosen color variation. This method is popular because it is fast and non-destructive. However, while this technique is convenient, it can often result in muddy colors. An easy way to solve this issue is by using gradient maps. Instead of relying directly on a multiply shadow layer, you can first create a selection from your shadow layer, then add a new gradient map correction layer based on that selection. When setting up the gradient map, create a gradient using variations of the same hue you've been working with. This allows you to control how light and dark areas transition while keeping the colors clean and consistent. Take some time to adjust the gradient until the values feel clear and balanced. Once you're satisfied, change the blending mode of the gradient map layer to multiply, then hide the original shadow layer. This approach preserves the structure of your shadows while avoiding the muddy color buildup that often happens with direct multiply painting. Now that the values are set, we can further increase the sense of depth and focus in a few simple but effective ways. One of the easiest steps is to add a simple background. Even a soft, flat tone can help define the silhouette of the subject and prevent it from blending into the canvas. Choosing a background color that complements your monochromatic palette strengthens visual unity without introducing new hues. To bring more attention to the face, a subtle light accent can be added. Using a soft brush with a lighter value on a new layer set to Glow Dodge, you can gently enhance areas hit by light. Glow Dodge intensifies brightness and saturation, making highlights feel more luminous. To soften the effect, duplicating the layer and applying a lens blur creates a smoother, more atmospheric glow. Slightly increasing saturation around this area further helps it stand out. Using the color blending mode can also help refine highlights. This blending mode affects only the color information while preserving the underlying values, allowing you to enrich saturation without disrupting your carefully established light and shadow. Adding a vignette is another simple technique to push the subject forward. Darkening the edges of the canvas subtly guides the viewer's eye toward the center, reinforcing the focal point without being distracting. With the overall depth established, the next step is refinement. One effective approach is to concentrate detail in the highlighted areas, particularly around the face. As the viewer's eye moves farther away from the focal point, reducing both detail and contrast helps maintain clarity and prevents visual overload. Textures can also enhance depth by increasing contrast and surface variation. One practical way to introduce texture is through your brush settings. By enabling color jitter and adjusting the saturation and luminosity sliders, each brush stroke introduces slight color variation while staying within the same hue. This creates a more natural, painterly effect without breaking the monochromatic scheme. Monochromatic color schemes aren't limiting. They're a powerful learning tool. By working with one hue, you can focus on value, saturation, and visual focus without the complexity of full color palettes. Once you learn to control a single color, working with more colors becomes much easier.